Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So today I'm in the mood to do some crazy collage. Now I've recently purchased a digital collection of collage items. There's over 130 digital cutouts of very old magazine pieces or magazine images from or dating from like the late 60s to early 70s, going up to almost kind of like the late 70s. So but they're all kind of, when they've been scanned and then digitally cut out, they've all got that fantastic kind of colour half-tone dot in the background, which gives them a really cool kind of vintage feel to them. So that's what I'm going to be using today, apart from one image, which is going to be kind of like the focal point, which is from my digital collection anyway. So let me turn over to my overhead camera and show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is all the pieces of collage that I've got from that digital kit. So what I've done is I've printed them out onto A4 paper or just on standard printer paper, just to kind of get the right sizing to make them fit, and then just printed them out onto plain white paper. And you can see where you've got those kind of dots in the background, which is where how magazine images used to be printed. You can see all that kind of dot. The process has changed a bit now, where they use like this massive, huge, great big, almost like colour photocopiers. Whereas previously they were done, each colour being laid first, which is why you get your CMYK, so you get your cyan went down first, then the magenta, then the yellow, and then the K, which is the black, or your key colour, would have gone on last. Or first, I can't remember which way around it goes, but anyway, those were laid down, but the actual plates were created in kind of like a half-tone dot, and that's why you've got that effect on old magazines. Like I said, these days they're printed differently, so that's kind of been lost, which is why I like these kind of digital images. Even like the hot air balloon, you can still see, I don't know whether the camera's picking that up or whether it's too bright, there is still like the dot in the background. And the reason I've got 3 balloons is because I couldn't decide which size would be the most appropriate. So rather than waiting, I did 3 different sizes and then printed them all out. So some of these pieces are actually going to be bigger and will need trimming down, like this one. Some are way too big and probably will go over the side, or might just overlap. But like I said, it's going to be a total collage art journal page today. And my phrase that I'm going to use my Omega Impact label, just because I haven't used it in a project yet. And seeing as Mum got it for Christmas for me, then I'm going to use it today. So first of all, I'm just going to kind of square this up with the corners. I'm not going to use any paint at all today, and I'm not using matte medium either, or either. I'm just going to glue everything down with a glue stick, and I don't care if it goes over this side. If it does go over this side, that's fine, because when I put these kind of down, it doesn't matter whether it spills over onto that next page. Not too bothered in the slightest. So first things first then, dry glue stick. So I'm going to just add a load of that dry glue onto the back. See, sometimes, you know, when you're looking through like magazines and that kind of stuff, and you come across an image, particularly if you get magazines like National Geographic or maybe one of these like photography kind of magazines, and you see images that you think would be really useful for backgrounds or for a focal image and stuff, just tear it out. And providing you own it, obviously. I mean, if you're sat in the doctor's waiting room or something and it's a magazine that's being left there for people to read, it's a bit off if you start ripping pages out. But if you own the magazine, then you rip them out and put them to one side and keep them for later use. These days, being able to see, I haven't got right up to the edge of the page there. I've still got time just to lift it up though. These days, it's easier to archive something you know, I can't see what I'm doing, I'm going to have to do this sideways. To get hold of a magazine, and if you don't want to store loads and loads of pages of magazines, then scan them. And if you've got the scanning facility on your printer, there's a lot of, you know, home printers these days come with scanners attached. Scan it and keep it. That way, not only can you change the size, the colour or whatever to suit your mood, but you can resize them for any size kind of like project you want to do. I'm just going to put it directly onto the page there. There we go. That should do me. There we go. So I'm working in my 8x8 Dilutions art journal here. There's not that many pages left now, particularly when I stick the pages together to make them a bit thicker to work on. So, right. So the first one, let's put down about there. So we've got the sky in the background. I'm working top to bottom. So background goes down first, and then we've got kind of like those mountains with, yeah, I think, although you're not going to see that, just need to get my other layer out, I think, first of all, just to see how far. Yeah, that's going to be fine. So this one can go down first. So what I'll do is let's put a little mark on the page there that lets me know kind of where that needs to go down first, and the pointer there makes it a bit easier. And then run the glue, go around the edge. The reason I'm doing like dry glue rather than wet glue is because I don't particularly want the page to buckle too much, and also using matte medium at the moment is having an effect on my fingers, my skin, which I talked about in a previous video. I have got some rubber gloves. The last time I used the rubber gloves I put far too much talcum powder in and ended up getting it everywhere. It looked like it had an explosion in a flour factory, as in wheat flour or corn flour or whatever, not flour like daisies. Okay, so once we've got this one on, that's when we start to be aware, I start to be aware that I need to kind of just be a little bit aware of where I'm putting stuff, because I need to layer another piece down before. And it still looks like a great, even though those two are completely separate pieces, it almost looks like they go together. So I'm creating my own landscape. Right, so this is going to be the bottom piece, that's going to go there, but I want to add this lighthouse in first. So that wants to go in there. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of that rock. Just line that up like so, and then just pop it down. That way I know it's going to be in the right place. Then I can add my other glue on the back. I could have a separate piece of scratch paper just off to the side here, but then I'd be working and you wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing. So the only reason I'm working on top of this bit here is so you can see it. There we go. I just need to expose a bit more of the glue. Okay, so that should be enough on there. So let's bring that down to that bottom piece. try and line it up with the bottom of the shape. Doesn't matter if I'm like a millimetre off or whatever. But I'd rather just get directly on. There we go. And then just smooth that one down, like so. Like I said, I'm not particularly bothered about this side of the page. So I'm starting to build up my scene quite nicely now. Okay, so next bit is my main focal character, and I have cut the top part of his head off, but I've also got a little disc that I've printed out that I want to just add. I will do this at the bottom. A little bit of glue just on the bottom there, and then I'm going to just position it on the back, just so it kind of looks as though we've taken the top of his head off. There we go. Okay, happy with that. It's very Monty Python-esque. And then just add some glue going all the way around. I said I wasn't going to do this at the side, didn't I? I was going to contradict myself. Okay, so again, let's line that up with the bottom of the page. And that's about central. And I've deliberately not gone round any of the edges with distress ink. I've left the raw white edges because I want you to be able to see that these are pieces of collage or bits of collage. Okay, so I think that smaller one is the right size. So yeah, I think if I'd have done it any bigger, it would definitely be a bit too big for that, so they can get kept for another day. And then I can stick that so he's coming out of his head like that. So don't ask me why there's a lighthouse there. I'm sure there are, you know, some reasons out there, or there's some people out there going, yeah, we understand why you've got that in there. The symbolism isn't lost on me. Dirty. But there you go. Okay, so shall we have it coming out? Let's have them coming out at a bit of an angle. Like that. Bit of whimsical fun. Just the kind of mood I was in today. Now then, where's my lid? There it is. Okay, so see that background kind of, although it's completely 1, 2, 3, 4 completely separate, different photographs from different, you know, different magazines or whatever, but all fits together. It kind of does work as a landscape. Bit of a fantasy landscape, but you know. Okay, so let's grab my impact label and we'll start punching out what I want to say. Put a space in. Only a little one word saying, so a little one word, 1 or 2. And then cut. Okay, so there's usually a little tab that cuts off that you can just get the edge with. See, I had it a second ago. There we go. Peel the back off. and then we can stick that up in the sky there. Like it. Okay, so now we've got that, we can then come in with, no, that's a broken pen, that one's going in the bin. I'm just hunting for a quick pen. I did have one of those micron pens somewhere. What's that PN stuff? Oh, no, that's not working either. Oh, do you know, talk about not being prepared. I want my head kicking in. Oh, hang on, what's that? The Japanese India inks. That's an oxymoron if I've ever heard one. Now, I'll tell you what, let's just use an ordinary Signo Uniball pen. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to then just start outlining. Just to kind of give it that bit of cartoony pop. But I'm not going real thick. So yeah, I could maybe use a Posca paint pen or something like that, but I think it probably would be a bit too much. So this is blending in quite nicely, but it just helps to just make that image pop a little. And then just go around there. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of cross hatching, just for a bit of shade. Just to kind of give it that 3D feel. And then I'll just go around the basket. Just turn it upside down so I can get all the way around without kind of smudging. I think I can take that off now. This journal is getting quite thick, so I have to hold some of the previous pages down. And then that come off. That glue's not stuck. What did I do with my glue stick? There it is, right in front of me. I can't see the wood for the trees. There we go. Can't have put very much glue on that bit. And then I'm just following the line of the cutout because you can actually feel it. Because it's raised and it's another layer, you've actually got the edge just to run the pen along, and it doesn't really matter. It's going to fade away off that side if you don't get it 100% right, because who's going to know? And who really cares? If you haven't got it exactly right. So, no, nobody died. Nobody got hurt. So what does it matter? Haha. Like it. And then I'm just going to go around with that. Again, just using the edge of the pen on the edge of the label, just as a kind of straight edge. Just push a little bit, and then maybe just come out a little bit further. Good old art journaling style. Haha, like that. Okay, so what else I want to do now is maybe just give it a little bit of a border. And I'm not going to go mad, just maybe a couple of lines. And I'm going to include the border at this side and leave that off. So that's the end of the page there. So I'll just come in a little bit. Then come in again. And then down this side. Oh, this is going to be a bit difficult. Maybe not too difficult after all. And then down the bottom. Scribbly border. Haha, like it. And then maybe just add maybe just a little bit of doodly. That's come off there a little bit, so let's just add a bit more glue on that side just to kind of hold that down, because that's on the crease. So I think actually I might even manage to do all this in one single shot. Sometimes you just get the urge to do stuff which is a bit different, something which you don't normally do, you know, and it's just enough to scratch that kind of creative itch that you might have without you having to get, you know, your entire paint collection out, or you know, what is it Picasso called it? Is it Picasso? Matisse? Painting with scissors? Or something like that. Right, I think that's it. That's all I'm going to do for this art journal page. Like it. So I'm going to just sign it. Down that, so if I can get a pen that actually works. Core blimey. We're having one of those days today, aren't we? Come on, pen. Right. It's not really playing ball. That's probably because I nearly wrote 20 then. I've done that before. I had to go back and change an art journal page because I put 20 on it rather than 21. See, back in the day when we used to write checks a lot, we're forever doing that, putting the wrong date on in January, the wrong year. Spend all year learning to write one year and then changes. There you go. That's it. So yeah, I like that. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of silliness, but it did scratch that creative itch that I've had, wanting to play with a bit of collage. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me put that together. If you have, give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, I nearly forgot what I was saying then you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. Shall I put white splatters on? No, just step away from it, Mike. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.